Hi! In this video I wanted to go over some of the first steps I took to make my dream game. What is my dream game? A tiny conquest, obviously. Ahem. Basically I wanted to mimic all the mechanics of Pikmin, add elements of Star Wars Battlefront, add space battle combat mode, and give it a bunch of cute characters to break your heart when you command them to sacrifice themselves on the battlefield. The first thing on the path to this dream is, of course, the Pikmin mechanics, which, if you never played Pikmin, are summoning the Pikmin, and throwing the Pikmin where you want it to go, and then usually the Pikmin doing something when it's there. You should probably have control of your own character to position and aim as well. Now, you might be wondering why my character is a ball with 3 pipes with colored balls on the end. And don't worry, I have a reason, a good reason. I'm not insane. I think. I actually developed this character for a different project where it was very important to know which way the camera was facing, which way was up, which way was forward compared to the character. And when I finished it, it worked so well that I just dragged and dropped it into this project. The controller feels so familiar to third-person games, and I made it myself. I didn't pay anyone. I didn't directly copy anyone's code. All I need to do to make this a real character is make all this invisible and add a character model as a child of the red ball. So, that gives me a player. But what about the Pikmin? Well, I have to confess, I directly and completely stole everything from Mix and Jam's tutorial on Pikmin. Which, if you haven't seen his stuff, it's just so cool. Each video, step by step, shows you how to use Unity to recreate a single cool mechanic from other popular games. Anyway, don't mind my atrocious code as I explain how it works. Each Pikmin, which I call units in my game, have an enum called state. Imagine an enum is like a lever with multiple places. Only one can be active at a time. And that allows me great control over what happens to the unit based on which state it's in. Hopefully the states are kinda self-explanatory. Idle, follow master, flying, and so on. Here are the important parts of the throwing function. I teleport my closest unit to my hand, which is invisible. Remove it from the list of units following me. Set its state to flying. Then I use do jump from the do tween package to do magic! I mean math. Basically it does all the hard math of an arc for me, and even the effort of making it move along that arc. This section here tells it what to do when it lands. That is, set to idle, check for something to interact with, and turn back on the navigator. Don't worry about that one, it does the same thing. Nothing really to the player's whistle. You hold down A or right click, and any units it touches are forcefully set to follow master. It also grows a little bit. Could it look better? Yes. Anyway, this is how they position themselves. It's really cool. Now, I can't have them all follow their master at exactly the same distance. That clumps up real fast. So I first made them a snake. The first one follows the master, the second one follows the first one, and so on until it's a chain. It looks really cool, and it's really effective. However, when you have like 100 units, it can stretch pretty far, and also I just really wanted to line them up in ranks. So basically, I needed to calculate all the positions the units would be in behind their master. But that's easy. Just count how many you want in a row and then move them back a bit for every row. Except you're wrong. Because it looks like this. And this. This is ugly. It's unstylish. It's out of season and therefore unacceptable. Now this is some beautiful, clean, angelic math. But if you really wanted me to break it down, I'm not gonna. Well, maybe. If my viewers really want me to, I will. But for now, just know that this part here, this flips every other row. And why would I want to flip every other row? Well, just look at this. This is art, elegance, grace. In my intro video, I said I really liked combining concepts, but this here, this is really what I do game dev for. To face a problem and absolutely whoop its butt. And really, I can't stop playing it. It's so mesmerizing. Next, I'll talk about carrying, which, I'm sorry to say, is an illusion. That Smarties my units are carrying, it's actually carrying them. Following mix and jam again, the units do a math to find their position around the edge, and then freeze. They lose all agency and physics, and the checker piece suddenly awakens and uses the same nav mesh agent the units use to walk. Then to drop it, the tuna can just goes to sleep, the units wake up and detach themselves. Then this cube eats it and makes more units. The food just reads the units that are carrying it to figure out which cube to go to, and the nav mesh does all the rest. Last thing I'll talk about are the stocks. One of the interactions the units can do is just to latch on to an object and deal damage every second. I made a damageable class that basically keeps track of the health and displays the health pie chart. This can be added to any object I want to kill, like obstacles, enemies, machines, and it can trigger an event to run whenever the object dies. For example, this stock drops food. And that's where I'm going to stop this video. In the next one, I'll talk about how I made the NPC, and really how I made this sort of the match cycle that I currently have. The only mechanic really subject to change right now is the fact that you throw the units. I know the whole thing is a deliberate ripoff of Pikmin, but even I think something has to be different. Like, I don't know, a gun that you fire the units out of? Look, I can't let myself get sued. I have no money. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace be with you.